Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kari and today I will talk about Phineas and Ferb. Recently I watched Phineas and Ferb and it was amazing. I had a blast, so I decided to make this list of Phineas and Ferb thematic episodes. I don't know if that's how they are called because I couldn't find information about those episodes like together, but that is how I call them, just because in these episodes Phineas and Ferb are not themselves. They are other characters, or they are in a different setting, or they have a crossover with other famous characters. These episodes make references to other things in pop culture, that being books like Frankenstein or movies like Star Wars or Indiana Jones. In my opinion, they are so fun to watch. That's why I wanted to make this ranking from worst to best. There are 9 that I will be ranking, and of course leave me in the comments your ranking of these episodes as well. Here in the screen I will be putting the number of the episode from Disney Plus. I know that there are several changes depending on which platform you are searching for the number of the episodes, for example in IMDb or in the wiki, but the one that I will be putting in the screen is the order on Disney Plus. Now let's get started. The criteria that I use to compile this list is the entertainment factor and the songs, like they go together because some of them don't have many songs, the references to the story that is based on, and the originality and twist of the stories. Number 9, Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel.
Superheroes in our kitchen.
Candace is gonna go lie down for a while.
Heroes.
That's it, just breathe.
Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, and
They're only
the
superheroes.
Super.
Looks like you guys have a fan.
This is mainly because I'm not a Marvel fan, but also I think that generally this episode was not very entertaining. It had a predictable storyline, mixing the powers. I think that's something that we have already seen. It wasn't very funny or entertaining, and also there weren't any memorable songs. Overall, the story wasn't very memorable to me. The villains weren't great, the heroes were okay, but it wasn't amazing, so that's why it's in the last place. Number 8, Steampunx.
Aren't you a bit young to be industrial revolutionaries?
Yes, we are.
This feels like a story within a story, and I like that format of storytelling. That is mainly why I have it here and why I think it's worth watching, but still it's not the best episode. I like the concept of the steam-powered inventions because now we are discovering that along with Phineas and Ferb. I have to say that the most entertaining part of the episode is the fight between Perry and Doof. That's amazing. I love that. I laughed many times with that. So I guess only for that you have to watch this episode. Number 7, Tri-Stone Area. I like this episode because it's very unique and very funny. Genuinely, I laughed out loud and I think it's great, but it wasn't very memorable to me. The things that I liked about this episode were that the creators appeared. I think that was brilliant, and also Doof. But again, Doof is amazing in every episode. And another thing that is just the highlight of the episode is the caveman version of Gitchy Gitchy Goo. That's just epic and amazing, and I think that's the main reason why this episode is so popular. Number 6, Phineas and Ferb and the Temple of Juatchadoon.
Well, we found the amulet, defeated the corn monster, apparently created a much-needed canal across Panama, and saved the world.
And I've got the proof.
I haven't watched any Indiana Jones movies and I still think that this episode is amazing with the references. The names are the thing that killed me, literally killed me, because they are so funny. We have here the protagonists Ohio Flynn and Rhode Island Fletcher. When I heard them, I laughed out loud and I was shocked of how brilliant this show is. I love the setting and the different versions of the characters. I think Candace was amazing as a journalist because that fits her personality so well, and overall the adventure was just great, very funny and entertaining. Another thing that it was great, it was Perry's entrance, you know, with the whole song and the fest. It was just so weird and great and I loved it. Number 5, the monster of Phineas and Ferbenstein.
Aha!
Oh, hi, Constance. We're gonna enter the best monster contest.
How are you gonna enter a monster contest? You don't even have a monster! He's right behind me, isn't he?
I love this episode so much. This mixes the classic story of Frankenstein with, you know, the formula of every episode of Phineas and Ferb, and is magnificent. Also, this was the first thematic episode in season 1, and I love that because then they started creating all of the other ones and the crossovers, and everything was great. This episode has Halloween vibes because it has to do with Frankenstein, and I love that. They made great references to the story, but also kept the essence of the show, which is something that I loved. There were some intelligent twists here because, for example, now we have a monster contest when in the story of Frankenstein, nobody wanted to see the actual monster. And I like that. I think it was just so brilliant and so imaginative how they changed that. The last two things that I love is that Candace is hilarious in here. Like, she's perfect. I love her. And that Doof turns into a fairy. If that's not the best thing ever, I don't know what it is. Number 4, Doof Dynasty.
You know what I hate about the unclimbable mountain of unclimbableness? Just to get there, you have to cross the uncrossable river of uncrossableness.
Who named all these things?
That guy over there, the redundant scribe of redundantness.
I was really debating between this one and the Frankenstein one because I think they are very close together, but I just decided to put Doof Dynasty in 4th place because it's more entertaining and it has a killer song. For starters, the storyline is very interesting and it has references, well, the ones that I noticed from Mulan and from Star Wars. There were many great things about this episode, one of them being the song that I told you about where Perry trains everyone. That is just great, amazing. I laugh out loud and I love the song. Another great thing is the setting and the costumes. I think they look amazing. They look so cute and so fun. Also, we have the flashbacks. So when Perry remembers something, he just like moves, and it's just so funny because they say like, we are not seeing anything. He is aware of that. That joke, it's amazing. Also, we have an epic fight between a dragon and a terracotta warrior. And lastly, we have a great ending with this episode because we find out that Phineas and Ferb built the Great Wall. That is amazing. Number 3, Excaliferb.
And to you, Ferbalot and Phineas, I bid thee good fortune.
Wow, good thing she wasn't Lady of the Hot Coffee.
Everything about this episode is epic, even the name. I love that it has references to the Arthurian legend, but also to the Lord of the Rings. That is the best combination ever. It has an amazing medieval setting with fantasy elements. I love the setting and how the characters are dressed. I think everything fits perfectly. But the thing that is a highlight about this episode is that it is a story within a story because Carl is reading this as a story for Major Monogram, which I can explain to you how brilliant is that, and also how great is Carl that he just read like a huge book in just a few hours. That mix between the reality and the fantasy is hilarious to watch. I love that. That is a great thing about this episode. And another great thing, in my opinion, is that we see more characters than in other thematic episodes. Please rewatch this if you love Phineas and Ferb. I think this episode is one of the best. Now at number 2, we have Wizard of Oz.
I suppose I should thank you for squishing little Susie.
I'm okay if you just rip this house off me.
But I won't, because I'm wicked.
This episode is a personal favorite of mine. I've always loved it, even if I hadn't rewatched Phineas and Ferb like I did. I think that episode was one of the ones that I used to remember a lot, and I love it so much. That maybe has to do with the fact that I love The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I think so. And this has a great mix between The Wizard of Oz story and Phineas and Ferb. We have my girl Candace here, and she is hilarious as always, but I think in this episode she shines so much. I love her so much. I think this episode shows how these two stories match so perfectly, and I don't even know why. I don't even know how they thought about that. The whole journey that Candace has to go through is amazing, but it's also very similar to just a normal day in Candace's life because she goes through that journey every day. I love how she encounters Jeremy and Buford and Baljeet, but they are also different versions of the characters of The Wizard of Oz, which is great. Everyone was hilarious, and I also love that Perry was the version of Toto of this episode. And listen to me, Doof was Elphaba, the Wicked Witch. I don't know what could be that perfect in my life. I love the character of the Wicked Witch and I love Doof, so this was just amazing for me. And also he looks so cute with that dress. I can't. Lastly, I want to say that everything was just perfect, but the thing that was amazing for me, that was a plus for this episode, it was that Candace was saying, I think Phineas and Ferb are behind all of this. And they were, and that was hilarious when they just popped out of nowhere and said that they actually were behind all of that. All of that greatness in one episode, and then it ends in a very unexpected or maybe predictable way, which is that it was all a dream. Number 1, Phineas and Ferb Star Wars.
Perry is in trouble.
Oh no, let's go help him.
No, you must get that disc to the rebels. We cannot risk our mission.
Split up? Really?
Just do what you need to do fast and meet us at the Falcon.
May the force be with you and all that stuff.
I couldn't think of a perfect combination between two things that I love. That is Phineas and Ferb and Star Wars. And I know the creators of Phineas and Ferb loved Star Wars because they put many things and references in other episodes, but this time it was a full-length episode with Star Wars characters and with interactions between them and Phineas and Ferb. In this episode, they recreate the first and epic Star Wars movie, A New Hope. It feels like The Lion King 1.5 when they show you what Timon and Pumbaa are doing in the same time as the first movie, but that we didn't see all of that. That is basically this episode of Phineas and Ferb, because Phineas and Ferb and Perry and Doof are all in the storyline of A New Hope, and they all in one way or another influence the story. So now we have the movie, the Star Wars movie that we already know. I think the characters were perfect matches, like how Phineas represented Luke and Candace, a stormtrooper. That was brilliant. That is the perfect character for her. As I said, we have the same story of A New Hope, but from a different perspective. We have our group here, the characters from Star Wars, and our group from Phineas and Ferb, and they all intertwine stories and they create A New Hope, basically. I think it's hilarious how they show many Star Wars jokes that we already as a fandom had. I laughed so much with that because I think it was brilliant, and I think every Star Wars fan who also likes Phineas and Ferb would enjoy this episode a lot. Ferb shines in this story because we get to see him as a good guy and a bad guy, and that confrontation between him and Phineas was perfect. Lastly, I have to talk about the songs, because here you have many songs. Not all of them were amazing, but my personal favorite is Tatooine. I think that song is so cute and great and funny and full of references. I just cannot help but love it. But also I have to say that I like the song from The Empire that Candace sings. I think that montage is just brilliant to watch and very entertaining. And lastly, one great thing about this episode is the ending, because we have the song and the celebration and everything is just so great and full of energy. And we also get a kiss between Phineas and Isabella, which is great. That was my list of Phineas and Ferb thematic episodes, ranked worst to best. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to leave me in the comments your ranking of these episodes. I would love to know. If you like the Phineas and Ferb content, please give this video a like so I can know that you want more videos about Phineas and Ferb. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I upload videos about movies, TV shows, and books every week. I will leave here in the screen more videos for you to check out, and I will see you next time.